So we cannot. I understand that the focus of this evening is film, but we are not going to just totally gloss over The West Wing because it is so terrific and landmark and helped to usher in the platinum age of television in which we're lucky enough to live now. So I just have to ask you, you actually didn't quite believe that a show about politics would fly, right? I mean, you yourself have said you were not not any particular interest in politics yourself, right?
No, I grew up in a family where we didn't discuss politics at all, and I grew up during the Watergate age, so I had not a lot of trust in politicians, and I just wasn't very savvy in the world of politics, and so when I got cast in The West Wing, I was surprised, but also all of us who worked on that in the pilot episode. Brad Whitford and John Spencer and Richard Schiff and Janelle Malone, all of us, we knew how great a writer Aaron was and how wonderful the script was, but we didn't think that people would want to watch it. We thought it was too smart for television audiences. That's the way we thought. It was like, no one's going to watch it. And then we couldn't have been more surprised. And we never thought we were sitting in the catbird seat at all in that show. We were surprised every year when they renewed us 1 year at a time. And only now really does it resonate how much that show meant to people, really, people who are seeing it for the first time now because of it showing on Netflix. And I just am so proud to have been a part of that series, and I realize how much comfort it gives so many people right now in the country. It's like,
but there's also something about the character C.J. Craig, who was at a time when she was often the only woman in a room, she was always the smartest person in the room.
God.
And whether that was... So I guess just, inhabiting her, having to deliver the exact dialogue, Sorkin doesn't mess around.
No, yeah.
Often having to do it, often having to talk while walking as well, walk and talks.
Walking and talking.
Just... when you think back to the acting challenge of those years, can you kind of marvel at the fact that what you guys accomplished and what you personally?
It was the perfect marriage of my experience and all of my co-stars' experience in the theater with the television show and doing all those walk and talks. I lived for them. Everyone hated me a little bit because I was really good at memorizing lines. I believe I've burned out that chip a little bit at this point in my life, but I was really good at memorizing lines, and I wanted to be because I knew that the minute you messed up one syllable, the script supervisor would be like, out of her chair to come correct you, and I lived to not ever see her flinch, because I could do better work if I knew that I wasn't. But the work we did on The West Wing, getting to memorize Aaron's lines for someone who's not that comfortable to play the smartest woman in the room is so much fun and such a gift to me, because I don't ever feel like I am Allison Janney is the smartest woman in the room, which is a disappointment to some people who want to meet CJ. And they're like, hey, it's not me.
Well,
oh God, it's so great to play.
The funniest thing you've said, I think, was that often CJ had to say some things that, deliver a lecture on a certain amendment or whatever.
And I was like, what the hell am I talking about? Like, what is this? Even when they did the whole episode on the census, I didn't know what is this, it was just, I learned so much about how at least how people wish our politics worked, but just to give you an example, and this is probably off book a little bit, but to play the smartest woman in the room with Aaron Sorkin's dialogue is great. And then I went and did Spy with Melissa McCarthy, and I had to play the head of the FBI or the CIA. I don't even know what it was. One of those people. And they were like encouraging me to improv, and I'm like, oh, I can't improv as the head of the FBI, the CIA. What do they say? So Melissa would go off on her brilliant improvs, and I would just sit there looking at her, and I'd say, stop talking. Shut up. I literally could not think of how So to have Aaron Sorkin to be able to be that woman who dressed down the 4-star general and said, it was such a gift. It was so much joy for me, and to play a woman that strong and show little girls growing up, how powerful this woman was in a man's world, and she was holding her own. It was such an important character. And she will always be a gift that keeps on giving, and it means people come up to me, and I still get letters of people saying, I changed my career because of you, because of CJ, and I want to be in public service and do what CJ did, and it's really pretty special.
I mean, I wish Sarah Huckabee Sanders was old enough to have seen a few episodes, but the